Help me reach 500 subscribers. I still remember the exact second my marriage changed, not with shouting, not with tears, but with one sentence that landed quietly and stayed. We were sitting at the kitchen table after dinner, plates untouched, the room heavy with unfinished thoughts. She looked at her phone, smiled faintly, then looked at me and said it. Not angrily. Not joking. Just casually, like stating the weather. In that moment, I felt something detach inside me, like a switch turning off, leaving only clarity and an unexpected calm. I did not interrupt her, because silence suddenly felt stronger than reaction. Then paused. She noticed my quiet and mistook it for weakness the way people often do. She leaned back, crossed her arms, and repeated herself with confidence, as if doubling down would force agreement. That was when I realized she believed marriage was something you could disrespect without consequence. I nodded slowly, not because I agreed but because I understood. Years earlier I would have argued, defended, pleaded. That man was gone. In his place sat someone listening carefully, measuring every word, deciding his next move with patience. No anger showed on my face, only attention and control. That unsettled her deeply. What she said was simple, cruel in its simplicity, and impossible to take back. She told me she deserved better, and that she had already found someone who made her feel alive. She said it like a confession without guilt. I asked no questions. I raised no voice. Instead, I stood up, cleared the table, and wished her a good night. Confusion flashed across her face. She expected drama, not dignity. She expected pain, not acceptance. That was the first crack in her certainty. She watched me walk away, unsure whether she had won or lost. Silence answered her fully. That night, I slept without touching her, without turning toward her warmth. I stared at the ceiling and replayed her words, not to torture myself but to accept them fully. Morning brought clarity, not hope. I made coffee, dressed for work, and left without explanation. No note. No argument. Throughout the day I planned quietly. Not revenge. Resolution. I reviewed finances, obligations, boundaries. By evening I had decided what I would no longer tolerate. Strength does not announce itself. It simply acts. People mistake noise for power, but restraint carries heavier consequences over time. She would learn that soon enough. When I came home she was waiting, confidence restored, smile practiced. She asked where I had been, her tone light, testing. I told her I had been thinking. That answer unsettled her more than anger ever could. I explained calmly that her words mattered, and that I believed her. I said I would not compete for my own marriage. I would not chase someone who had already left emotionally. She laughed nervously, assuming this was a phase. She was wrong. For the first time, consequences stood between us, silent and immovable. Her eyes searched mine, finding nothing familiar anymore there. Over the following days I changed nothing outwardly and everything internally. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped seeking reassurance. I listened. She spoke more, filling the space, trying to regain control. She apologized once, quickly, without weight. I accepted it without warmth. That frightened her. She realized apologies without action held no value anymore. I met with a lawyer quietly. Knowledge replaced fear. Options replaced desperation. Every step forward reduced her influence. Power shifted not with force but with preparation. She sensed distance growing, like a door slowly closing beyond her reach. Regret began whispering where confidence once lived quietly. One evening she finally asked if I was leaving. I told her the truth, that I was choosing myself. That answer broke the script she had prepared. She cried then, real tears, the kind meant to undo damage. I watched, not coldly but clearly. I reminded her that words spoken freely reveal beliefs, and beliefs shape outcomes. I did not insult her. I did not threaten. I simply stated boundaries and consequences. She understood too late that respect cannot be negotiated after it is lost. Silence returned, heavier than before, carrying finality neither of us could ignore. It was irreversible. I did not celebrate. I did not mourn loudly. I moved forward steadily, handling logistics with the same calm I used handling my emotions. She watched the man she underestimated detach without chaos. Friends noticed the shift. Family respected the restraint. Her regret grew visible, not because I punished her but because I removed myself from the role she expected. When someone realizes they misjudged your limits, they confront their own choices. That is a heavier lesson than anger can teach. I learned that day the power of composure. Words can end marriages, but dignity decides how they end forever. Looking back, I see that moment as a gift wrapped in pain. Her sentence forced me to see reality without illusion. I did not save the marriage by reacting. I saved myself by responding. She regrets now, I am told, not because she lost comfort but because she lost control. That difference matters. I carry no hatred, only lessons. Love without respect corrodes quietly. Commitment without accountability is empty. If there is strength in this story, it is simple. Choose self-respect early and regret will choose someone else. That truth followed me forward, reshaping every decision thereafter. It still does. If you wonder what I did next, understand this. I did nothing dramatic and everything necessary. I stopped accepting disrespect disguised as honesty. I stopped fearing endings more than dishonor. My wife said something a married woman should never say, and I believed her. Belief was my action. Walking away emotionally before walking away legally gave me leverage over myself. Regret is loud when it arrives too late. Mine never came. Hers did. This is not a story of revenge, but of quiet consequence, earned through restraint and resolve. Some lessons end relationships, but begin lives built on self-respect alone.